I have a question that's been bothering me. Can you accept the idea of living as an ordinary person? I know it's a very terrifying thought, and by ordinary, I mean really ordinary, like working a very routine job, then retiring maybe. You might be married, have kids, for example, and hardly anyone remembers you except for a very few people. Are you okay with that? With being that person? Impossible, right? Even though if you think about it, you'll find that most people are actually very ordinary. But still, the idea is terrifying to everyone. No one wants to be ordinary, and that's not strange because everything around you now tells you that you have to be special. If you go online, at least in the last 5 years, you'll see that everyone is terrified of one idea. And that is for you to live as a very, very boring, ordinary person. Chase your dream, work hard, run. And while I'm actually running, I don't even know why I'm running, or who I'm running from, or what I'm even going to become. Why are we so tense? Calm down, relax. This whole idea of not being an ordinary person has made us live miserable lives. It's as if we're riding a train that's moving way too fast. We can't even look at our own lives. Our lives are just something moving so fast that we can't see it, like it's behind some kind of glass. So I myself used to have and still have a problem with I'm never satisfied with anything in my life. No matter what I achieve, I'm not content, I'm never fulfilled. I'm not happy no matter how much I try, whether I go this way or that, I just don't feel happy and I don't know why. That's the problem I feel. I feel like I've lost the joy of just living an ordinary, very normal life. For example, the idea of just sitting with myself for a while, I can't seem to do that anymore. But I see that a big part of the problem is the internet in general, because it always makes me feel like there are so many people better than me, like I'm in a race that I'm running without even knowing where it ends or even what I'm racing for. There's a huge sense of dissatisfaction. Not long ago, I watched a movie called Perfect Days, which was released in 2023. Just recently, when I watched this movie, it made me remember so many things I had forgotten. It reminded me of what it means to live a very ordinary life, to just be an ordinary person, because I had forgotten about that. Life in the modern era has become mentally exhausting and extremely fast-paced. We need to slow down and unwind, so come, let's talk together. What is it about this movie that really makes me remember? Right now, at dawn, we see an old woman sweeping the street, and this Japanese man wakes up, removes his blanket, puts away his pillow, moves the bed to the side, takes his book and memorizes the last page he was reading. Then he goes down, turns on the light, brushes his teeth, trims his mustache, shaves his beard, washes his face, dries his face, and hangs up the towel, waters the plants, and sits looking at his plants growing before his eyes. Then he puts on his work clothes. On the back it says that he works in the baths. Tokyo. He goes down, takes his phone, his wallet, his camera, and his keys. He opens the door, takes a very deep breath, looks up at the sky and smiles, then goes to buy coffee. He sits in the car, drinks his coffee, flips through the tapes he has to pick the song he's going to play, and then drives off. I feel like you're starting to get bored of me, right? Your brain is rotting, poor thing. You can't take it. Do you want me to put a game underneath so you can finish the video? Your brain is completely broken, but the rot hasn't settled inside your mind. But honestly, if you watch the movie, the guy is extremely slow. And by the way, that's intentional. So that's the first thing you should notice, that I myself don't have that skill, to be that slow. Slow while doing something ordinary. I mean, honestly, if I were in his place, I'd just play videos and keep scrolling until I get bored. The important thing is, we notice that this man is happy just to have woken up, and we see him in the car looking at the sky and playing the song he chose. By the way, he actually has really good taste in music. You'll see that he's very happy, really cheerful, and he arrives, and he goes into work. We see someone miserable, just lying to the side from exhaustion. Then you see that he starts working hard, putting in effort and cleaning the bathroom very thoroughly and conscientiously, and it shows you how dedicated he is to his job, to the point where he brings a mirror and starts looking for any dirt under the bathroom so he can clean it. Can you imagine? When someone comes to use the bathroom, he steps outside and waits by the door. He starts looking up at the sky, looks around, and smiles. That young man arrives late and says, "Sorry, the streets were crowded and I couldn't get here quickly." The boss doesn't respond to him at all, and the young man tells him, "Don't bother yourself, they'll just make it dirty again anyway." They mess it up again, but he still works and puts in a lot of effort at his job in a really unusual way. And at the same time, we see that he's holding a phone. Literally, he's working while on his phone. So literally, I'm running the subway. Our protagonist finishes cleaning that bathroom and then goes to the next bathroom in the film. This shows you some really tough bathrooms with little kids coming in, laughing, and suddenly the little one disappears. He's lost from his family. And for the first time, after a quarter of an hour from the start of the film, we find that he speaks. He asks him, "Where's your mother, sweetheart?" He takes him and makes him laugh, until his mother herself comes running and picks him up. Now watch what his mother does next. She wipes his hand where he held the man's hand. He's not even embarrassed as he stands in front of her. She doesn't even bother to say thank you for bringing back my lost son. No, the boy himself waves goodbye as he leaves. So he laughs back at him and waves goodbye too. And look at this bathroom as well. I told you there are some really awesome bathrooms here. The hero takes his food. He goes into this garden, sits among the trees, and starts eating while looking at the sunlight reflecting off the leaves. and we hear the sound of birds. There's a Japanese word called Komorebi, which means the sunlight that filters through the leaves of the trees. Honestly, this word explains the whole film and the character of this Japanese guy. Think for yourself. When was the last time you looked at the sky? When was the last time you looked at the trees, at the sunlight shining through the leaves? Or at anything beautiful in your life? In general, these are all very, very beautiful details in life that we ourselves have forgotten, but this Japanese guy hasn't. He looks and finds beauty, and he finds happiness and comfort in the small details. Things like that. He doesn't overthink things. I mean, he just went through a really bad situation a little while ago. If that had happened to me, I would have been really, really upset. That woman insulted him very, very badly, but he doesn't care. He just wants to enjoy the details of his day and his life. So you'll find that he takes out a very, very old camera and he photographs the Komorebi, the sunlight filtering through the trees. You'll find that he's obsessed with this subject. Then he goes over to a small plant. He asks permission to take it with him, and he actually takes it. And he continues his work. This bathroom is my absolute favorite. Really, really amazing. So look, the woman goes into the bathroom. The bathroom walls are transparent. So how is she supposed to use the bathroom in front of everyone like that? And just watch what happens next. As soon as she closes the glass, it stops being transparent. So you can't see what's happening inside. I mean, that's seriously awesome. Look, when this guy comes out, it turns transparent again. It's really something amazing. He walks around looking at the kids coming out of school. He looks at the streets. And when he gets home, he takes his plant, goes upstairs to plant it with its siblings, then goes to ride his bike and wander through the streets. Very calmly, he looks up at the sky and enjoys his time. Then he goes to take a bath in one of those strange and unusual Japanese baths. I've never understood this type of bath. They're all naked, bathing together, and I've never understood the logic of bathing with naked men. I mean, why this disgusting thing? I don't get it. He goes out to get some air and finds an old man who's about to die from the heat, so he fans him. And also, he's lying down, then riding his bike in the rain, and he gets to a restaurant where he drinks something, eats, and is extremely happy, so much so that he's almost angry. And from a very, very important moment. Almost half an hour of this film has passed so far. Half an hour. Can you imagine that literally nothing has happened? Literally, you just watch his life, which is extremely, extremely, extremely slow. Then at night, he goes out on his bike. He makes his bed and sits down to read his book until he gets tired and can't go on, so he turns off the light and goes to sleep. And he dreams. The next day, he wakes up to the sound of the old lady sweeping. After that, he gets up and does exactly the same things he did yesterday. He makes his bed, checks his book, gets himself ready, and takes care of the plants. He takes his things and looks up at the sky, feeling very, very happy. He has his usual coffee, the same kind, puts on a new song of his choice, and walks while looking at the sky. And that building, he's very, very happy as he looks at the kids going to school, also happy, then goes to his job and cleans the bathroom there. A woman comes in to use the bathroom. So he steps outside and looks at the sunlight reflecting off the leaves, and he feels really happy, like a little child. Then, the guy who works with him, his girlfriend, comes to visit him at work. So he tells her that he'll finish quickly, that he's leaving, and he'll come to her. He's almost done. Then he goes to start his motorcycle, but it breaks down. So he goes to ask our protagonist if he can borrow his car. But of course, he completely refuses. Honestly, I swear by the soap's shine, it's just weird. Their way of talking is really, really annoying. Look at the sounds they're making. How strange is that? Ha! In the end though, our protagonist actually goes with them. He's getting really, really annoyed, so the girl chooses a song to play, and she really loves the sound of that old cassette player that's playing. The guy is so annoying, I swear to God, he's unbelievably irritating. His facial expressions are just infuriating, and our protagonist is happy that she's enjoying herself. They arrive, and the guy steals the tape that she herself picked and puts it in the girl's bag. And the girl gets out. The important thing is, this annoying guy doesn't have any money, and he wants to go out with the girl who was with them. So he takes our protagonist's tapes and wants to see how much they're worth. Because the tapes are original and old, so they're definitely valuable. He goes with him. So here he tells him that they should sell them. Of course, he doesn't agree. So he takes them from him and runs away. And he keeps telling him that they have to sell them. Stand by me, I want to go out with the girl, please, please. In the end, he gives him the tapes back, so our protagonist feels sorry for him and gives him all the money he has. Of course, he's extremely happy. He leaves and our protagonist is also happy. He goes to sleep and wakes up to do the same daily routine. And he goes and works hard at his job. And I noticed something while watching, that the Japanese actually have bidets just like us. It's normal. And we see him scrubbing like crazy in the bathroom. Come on, man, what else are you going to clean? Until he finds a piece of paper with the game written on it. He throws it away. Then he goes to eat in the garden. He takes pictures of the trees, and he's also very, very happy. Now watch what happens next. He looks to his side and finds a girl and also a young man talking to her, saying that it's a habit, but he finds that she's full of suffering, frustration, and misery. Meaning, she's a young girl, but she represents me. This is exactly me, and he quickly looks away to avoid looking at her. After that, we see him looking at her, then he takes an XO paper, writes an X on it, leaves it in the same place, and waits for someone to play with him later. The same routine. He takes a shower, eats at the restaurant, drinks, goes to read, sleeps, dreams, wakes up the next day, makes his bed, and leaves. At work, he finds that the paper he left yesterday, where he wrote an X, someone has written back to him or is writing back to him with an X. This surprises him. He finds that the girlfriend of that annoying guy, returns the tape that the guy stole and put in her bag. She asks his permission to listen to it one more time inside his car because the sound of that cassette is different. She listens to it and starts crying just like that. And she tells him that she has left that guy so he doesn't know what to say to her. Then she gives him a kiss and runs off quickly. He is very surprised and happy, but also thinking, what are you doing? You're as old as my children, as old as my grandchildren. After that, he sits in complete silence. He listens to music while lying down. Let me pause here for a moment. This man is nothing like the typical movie heroes we know. He is very different. I mean, he's not ambitious, he's not fighting for anything, he doesn't even want anything in the first place. He lives a very boring routine, but at the same time, he's happy. And that's something that might annoy you, even make you angry. Do you have the key to happiness? Like, what's wrong with you? For example, let's compare him to someone like Carmi, whom we talked about in the previous video. Go watch that video, it's really, really important. Carmi is a very successful chef in his field. But if you watch the video I made about that series, or even watch the series itself, you wouldn't find at all that I mention or talk about this. Even though this chef, even though he's extremely successful, he's not happy or content. How is it that this ordinary, routine, boring guy is happy and satisfied with his boring routine, while Carmi, who is successful in his life, isn't? He keeps yelling, screaming, and getting angry. He literally embodies misery and suffering in life. This question has two answers. The first answer you'll find out at the end of the video. The second answer is right here, in the moment we're looking at in the film. Here, you'll see this man lying down at peace, enjoying his moment, happy and content, listening to music. Let's listen again. He's lying there at peace and enjoying the moment. If I talk about myself, I no longer have the ability to lie down like this man and listen to something and just relax for a bit. Honestly, I'm not joking right now. I really don't have the ability anymore to enjoy my time, to look at the details of daily life, enjoy them, and savor them like that. That's it. I just don't have that anymore. Even the idea of relaxing makes me feel guilty. And the reason for that is that social media has literally destroyed my mind. I admit it. Social media has ruined my brain, man. I go online for just 5 minutes and just scroll. You'll find people telling you how to read the largest possible number of books, how to improve yourself, how to get the perfect body, how to look perfect, how to learn English in your free time. Man, my free time is called free time for a reason. It's the empty time in my life so I can recharge my energy and enjoy my life a little. But they'll tell you no and make you feel guilty. They won't make you feel like you actually should take free time to enjoy your life. They make you feel like you're running in a race, that the whole world is ahead of you and you're falling behind, that there's something wrong with you, the whole obsession with success. That's what I was talking about in a video or even in the series Atabir, where I discussed all of this just to get to this point about the world. Everything around you now pushes you to become obsessed with the idea of being perfect. Like, how come you haven't learned programming yet? Or how is it that after 6 years in kindergarten, you still haven't bought Bitcoin? Seriously, what's up with that? Just try this. As you're walking down the street, lift your head to the sky, look at the view, and enjoy the moment. So I feel like I'm riding a train that's moving incredibly fast. And I can't see anything around me in this world. Everything is blurry. Even the simplest thing, like when you go to pray, you find yourself Usain Bolt, Need for Speed. I'm trying to race myself to see how quickly I can finish so I can get things done. I've even started treating something like this as if it's a mission, an important task that I have to complete as fast as possible. Because there's no time. Come on, I'm falling short. Falling short in what? Honestly, I don't even know. So how can you enjoy the moment like that, man? Or enjoy your life if there's a war going on inside your head? Or if you're in a race running without even knowing what you're running from? Let's continue. And we see that on his day off, he buys things for his camera, cleans his house, and organizes his stuff. Things he couldn't manage to organize while he was working. Among the photos he took, he buys a new book and goes to a new restaurant for the first time, and we see him talking to the woman who works there. From the way they interact, you can tell they know each other, and she treats him very kindly. You'll notice that this old, mischievous man calls this woman Mama. And it turns out he's not the only one. Everyone there has mommy issues and they all call her Mama. We see our protagonist, who hasn't spoken throughout the whole film, now talking and looking very happy. At the same time, this woman is extremely kind. Then the strange old man asks her, Mama, sing us a song. She actually goes and sings. Everyone is happy and very pleased. Our protagonist has a crush on this woman and she seems to like him back. Later, he's still playing tic-tac-toe with that mysterious person before going to eat. Honestly, I'm still sad about that girl. That very night, an event occurs that changes everything. He finds her waiting for him. She says, Uncle, where have you been? I've been waiting for you for a long time. He actually doesn't even know who she is until he remembers that she's Nico, his niece. So he tells her, you've grown up so much. She ran away from her home and now comes to stay with him. From here, his life completely changes. We see that he goes downstairs to sleep and leaves her upstairs. He tries to go up very slowly so he doesn't wake up and can water the plants. He takes his clothes, but she wakes up and she says, I'm coming with you to work. He actually takes her with him and gets her coffee just like his. And she plays a song, so she asks him, is this song available on Spotify? But he doesn't even know what Spotify is. He thinks it's a store. And the girl laughs at him because he doesn't know anything. Then you see him cleaning the bathroom when someone comes in while he's leaving, and she's really surprised. She sits with him and shares his interest in looking at the trees and the sun. And she takes pictures with her phone, so he takes out his camera and takes pictures of her too. Then she also takes out the same type of camera and tells him, you gave it to me for my birthday. And they sit together enjoying the peace and quiet. The next day, she takes a book from him to read. She goes with him to work as well, sharing in his life. Here, she asks him, why are you and mom upset with each other? He'll say to her, is that what she told you? She'll tell him, every time I mention you in front of her, she immediately changes the subject. So he'll say to her, and do you run away from home a lot? She'll tell him, no, this is the first time, but I've always wanted to come live with you, uncle. So he keeps his promise, and then he takes her to the place where he bathes. Of course, there's a place for men and a place for women. They spend a wonderful time together until now, when he's about to say something very, very important. They ride the bicycle together. She tells him that there's a huge difference between you and my mother. She says to me that you live in a world different from ours. He tells her that's actually true. This whole world is full of smaller worlds within it. Each person chooses to live in their own world. The two of them stand together, looking at the river. She'll say to him, let's go to the weir at the end of this river. So he'll say to her, we'll go next time. She'll say to him, so when is that? Tell me. He'll look at her and say, next time is next time, and now is now. This sentence, I want to write it as a tattoo on the inside of my eye so I can always see it. Every moment is a very simple idea. It's about living in the present, not the future or the past. Don't rush what's going to happen. Just live and enjoy the moment you're in right now. So, next time is next time, and now is now. They go and find a very expensive car in front of them, and his sister gets out of it and greets him. There's this strange tension in the air, and she tells her daughter to get her things so she can leave with her. Then the girl starts calling for her uncle. She tells him that he's going to talk to her mother, but what is he supposed to say to her? She tells him, come visit me anytime you want. After all, she's your mother too. Then his sister gives him a box of chocolates as a gift, and he smiles. He tells her, this girl, your daughter, is really good. She replies, our father doesn't remember anything anymore. Are you going to visit him at the care home? Isn't he going to do the same with you, like he did last time? So he looks down at the ground and tells her no. She asks him a question with arrogance, pride, and surprise, saying, is it true that you actually clean bathrooms? He looks at her, and he smiles and tells her, yes. She looks at him with a pitying look, and the girl comes over, hugs him, thanks him, and leaves. That night, for the first time, he shows emotion and goes to hug his sister very tightly, and she laughs with him and leaves. After she leaves, we see him crying again, with even more pain. This is one of the very best moments in the film because here we understand that he has problems with his family, and it's clear that these are serious problems. The film itself refuses to tell us exactly what these problems are, but it hints to us that they are significant issues beyond what we see. We understand something very important here. It's clear that he is wealthy, his sister and father are wealthy, but we realize that he himself, he is the one who chose the life he is living. He chose his own routine and his simple way of life. What's also very interesting here is that the film doesn't pretend to be idealistic, because I would have been really annoyed if our protagonist was always happy. No one is always happy, or rather there's no such thing as that in the first place. That's a kind of perfection you shouldn't even strive for. And now the man has problems that could be very, very big. And we also understand a bit that he's running away from his problems. So he's not perfect at all. He's far from being perfect, but he's trying to live the life he wants, the life he chose for himself. And it wasn't forced upon him. And honestly, for me, there's a big difference here because calling for perfection and saying that poverty is happiness and all that stuff, all of that is completely unrealistic, honestly. There's no such thing. The important thing is that he's not perfect. He's not always happy like he was at the beginning of the film. The next day, he tries to be happy as usual after he was about to kill himself crying. But the problems keep coming one after another. That annoying guy who works with him calls him on the phone and thanks him for, you treated me very well and were a really good manager to me, but I'm resigning. And he hangs up. Of course, our protagonist gets really angry that this guy now has a work shift, so the company itself calls him and tells him there's no replacement for this time slot, so you'll have to work in his place. Today, you'll be working 2 shifts. So he goes to new bathrooms and works until night falls. And for the first time, he finds that he's not doing his usual daily routine, and he's not happy at all. He calls them and tells them that he won't work at night anymore. You'll have to find someone else to replace me. And he hangs up. He goes home very late. Home. He takes off his clothes and collapses like a dead man, falling asleep. Here, his philosophy in life truly reveals itself. The point is to live in the moment and exist in the present. So that's it. The past is gone and whatever happened, happened, and the future will bring whatever it brings. So the next day he goes out again, very happy as usual. He's not upset that yesterday was a bad day for him. Not at all. The day has passed, that's it. We've forgotten about it. He's in a new day and a new moment. He goes to get 2 coffees this time because he slept late and woke up early. And he goes and actually finds that they've brought him a replacement one. And she even arrived before him, meaning she's more committed than that guy. That annoying cold guy. And he goes to pick up a note and finds the mysterious person, had written the last thing on the note and says to him, "Thank you." He's very happy, like a little kid. After that, we see him going about his usual activities in life until something new happens. He goes to Mama Dot's restaurant and finds her inside hugging someone, so he quickly rides off on his bike. He goes and buys beer and a pack of cigarettes, then sits somewhere to drink and smoke. He sits there feeling really down, very sad about a girl he likes and thinks likes him back. And here I noticed something. As soon as he had a problem, he immediately rushed to get beer and cigarettes. This means that he used to live like this before. He used to be addicted to alcohol and cigarettes. So whenever he faces a problem, he goes back to them again. Sorry, just to clarify. Notice that as the film progresses, the idealism he had at the beginning starts to fade away. And the absolute happiness that was there at the start, it gradually disappears, bit by bit. That's life. And this is actually something really good about the film here. There will come a time when you have to work extra hours. It's totally normal. Someone might treat you really badly. The woman you love might leave you and end up with someone else. You fall and get back up. It's the usual human experience. Take this Japanese man. He's over 100, yet still active. The Japanese are truly unique. Suddenly, the man who hugged her starts humiliating him, saying, "I took your girlfriend because I'm rich." You get angry, but it turns out he's actually very respectable. He just asks for a cigarette, smokes, and starts tipping over from being tipsy. And he tells him that he's actually this woman's ex-husband and that he divorced her 7 years ago and got married again after that. But now he has cancer. He's critical and came to say goodbye, fearing the end. Our protagonist grabs him a beer and they drink together. The man says, "Take care of her. I'm counting on you." He replies, "Our relationship isn't like that." The man says, "Liar, you nearly died earlier." The man then sits and stares at the shadow in the water. And he says to him, "If you put another shadow on top of this one, does it get darker?" He replies, "I honestly don't know." So the man says, yes, that's the way of life. There are many things I still don't understand." Then he says, "Come on, let's try it." So they stand up, stand in front of it and watch. If you put a shadow on top of another shadow, does it get darker or not? One of them says, "Yes, it gets darker." Another one says, "No, it doesn't get any darker after that." Then they start playing together, seeing who can put their foot on the other's shadow, playing like little kids and laughing. He walks away feeling very, very happy. He wakes up the next day still very, very happy and content. A new day has started. He gets in his car and plays a song. I feel good. He laughs and the song says it's a new dawn. And it's a new day. And I'm happy. And here we see the truly amazing acting of this actor as he cries and laughs at the same time at the end. The song keeps playing. And there's a long scene where he's listening to the song, laughing and crying at the same time. And the film ends. The film shows us that there is no absolute happiness. There is no perfect life. And even this man, who was always happy throughout the film, gets sad at many times. And he also faces many problems. And at the same time, he's working a job that nobody really cares about in the first place. No one cares about a job like that. But he is very dedicated to what he does. But at the same time, he tries to live happily, with peace of mind. The film doesn't give you answers about your life. It doesn't tell you how to live your life, but it tells you to enjoy it. Relax. Calm down in your life, even if there are storms that will hit you and make you sad. But that's life. Enjoy just looking at the sky. Enjoy the very, very small details. In the moment, so many things you've forgotten in your life, put your phone down for a while. By the way, I know I keep saying the same thing. This concludes our 3-part series featuring 3 distinct works that also complement one another. Starting with Andrew, who was striving for success in an incredible way. Until in the end, he achieved that success, but in a terrible way. His whole life was built for one purpose, and he lived for just one goal. So this film didn't give you an answer about what would happen to Andrew in the future. What comes next? Now that he's succeeded, how will he go back to living his life again? And that's why in the second video, I talked about someone named Carmi, who, for me, his character was the answer to what happened to Andrew. He too was striving intensely for perfection and to succeed, until finally, he succeeds. Not just once, but twice. Yet he continues to suffer because he also uses very bad methods. Methods that are promoted as the way to succeed. These are the methods that will get you to success. Throw everything behind you, don't enjoy your life, let anger and misery push you forward. Just that. But then what? You've reached your goal. But then what? You'll forget how to live normally or how to enjoy your life, and many times what you're doing in your life. You're doing all this just to prove something to the people around you. Maybe your family. Maybe someone you don't even know if you love. Anyone at all. You're proving something to them. So as long as you're striving for someone else to acknowledge you, you'll spend your whole life feeling pitiful, sad, and miserable. This Japanese man lives simply, cleaning bathrooms and finding joy in his routine. He tries to stay present and enjoy each moment. Yet by the film's end, he realizes that being completely happy isn't actually possible. Sometimes he gets sad, sometimes he gets upset, and sometimes life gets tough for him. but he tries to seek comfort and peace of mind. And the most important thing in all of this is that he doesn't try to prove anything to anyone. So for me, in the end, if we combine these three works together, we'll ultimately reach the conclusion that you find and you strive and exhaust yourself to truly achieve success, but you're not behind anyone or anything. So in the end, you're a human being. Your anxiety, your stress, and your fear of the future, they will never solve your problems right now. Now is now, and later is later. And let's add to all of this, the most important thing in life is that we seek help from God. In the end, if you are a Muslim, the word Muslim means that you surrender yourself to God. That's it. I did my best and did everything I could. Whatever good comes, it's from God. And if nothing good comes, that's okay. Life is a mix of good and bad times.